problem is simply in the words of people, I want a closure to my difficulties. This is the problem. These are words that are on the tongues of the people. I want a closure to my difficulties. What do I mean by this? Each and every single one of us sitting here today has a problem in his life, has a difficulty. No matter how big it is, how small it is, it differs. The size of the problem differs from person to person. But there's an attitude in the back of the mind that you feel you're restricted from doing other things until you close this problem. And you always have, and the people always have in their minds that, well, I can't move in life. I need a closure to this problem. Someone has a sickness, I need to close this problem. And again, the life is miserable now until he finishes this problem. Someone has daughters and sons in his family, and now he is faced by a difficulty. I need them to get married so I can close this problem in my life. Someone has a divorced daughter in his house. This is a big problem. I'm waiting for the day where I can end this problem in my life and find someone for her. Someone goes through a financial difficulty in life, and I'm waiting to resolve this problem. I want a closure to my problem. People, husband and wife, among each other in the family, give a call, Allah, we have a problem. Among me and my wife, we have a problem. We need a closure to this problem. I want to close it off. Khalas, I want to rest. And I want to find peace and satisfaction like everyone else. I want to close problems. Then you close a problem in life and another one comes up. And then you want closure to it. And so on. Life is like this. You realize this. And the people, if you're not able to have the right mentality and the mindset, if you're not able to have the right attitude towards these difficulties and obstacles in life, what happens? Look what people do. Look what people do to themselves. They resort to taking pills to kill themselves, resort to suicide. Then to them, nothing is going to end their problems other than death. It's just me dying would finish my problems, would finish my difficulties, my pains. Lakin, from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that He sent down a Quran to us. And He sent us Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The day the Quran came down was the day Allah's mercy came down. This is how it's supposed to be viewed. The day Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent to mankind, it was the day Allah's mercy was sent to mankind. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the teachings of the Quran teach us exactly well how to deal with these matters. Number one, the first way in how to deal with difficulties and pains and tribulations and trials and worries and sadnesses and the depressions and the stress and the misery of life, how you deal with these matters is number one, understand that this is how Allah created mankind. And this is how Allah created the worldly life. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We created the human being in difficulty. Either life from day one until you die is all difficulty. There's no such thing as I want a closure to my difficulties. There's no such thing. The day you came out from your mother was a difficult day. You can't remember the pain of that day. But ask your mother, she'll tell you were crying. A shaitan came and slapped each and every single one of us. That's the beginning of life. What are you going to say? No, why? I just came out. Why have I been slapped by a shaitan? Why? This is life. This is how it's going to be. That's the pains of it. You're crying from the very beginning. For what reason? You've got to get used to it from the very beginning. Then you begin to suckle and you find difficulty in that. And then you begin to walk and you find difficulty in that. You trip over, you fall, you stand back up. Then you start eating and you have difficulty in that. It's the first time you start eating. Then you start conversing with others and you find difficulty when you start learning A, B, C, Alif, Ba, Da, put words together, put sentences together, put paragraphs together. The learning experience becomes a difficult experience. Then you have all of school to finish. Then you think, my difficulties are going to finish by the end of year 12. Khalas, I'm done after the HSC. Then you begin with another difficulty in life. You got university. Then you finish that and you take a degree and you begin your studies and you begin some kind of work. Then you want to get married. You think that's it. Khalas, that'll finish your difficulties in life. Brother, wallah, al-fitan are a lot outside. Well, people is zina, well, Allahu Akbar, I need to get married and inshallah it's going to solve all my problems. You get married, the divorce rate is higher than the marriage rate. then you find all of a sudden that there's an issue. I need to stop to this. Khalas, I can't. I've married once, I divorced twice, I divorced the third time. No, I just want to get married and settle and relax and children and just see myself in this, like these advertisements they make, in where a wife and a husband sitting together with two children and like a barbecue scene and outdoor scene. That's it. This is the dream. This is the happy life. And this image has been sold to us, and you're just running after it, and you never see it in your life. You begin your aspirations are what mankind have made of a standard of aspiration. And then you begin to fail in life. What's the problem? This is the issue. And then your children, and then once I marry off my children, I'll rest. And then the day you die, the day you die is a difficult day. Do you think the day that a ruh comes out, it's going to be easy? It's a difficult day. The way the soul comes out is over 4 stages. It's first gathered in the body. Then it's gathered from the hand, from the feet, from the legs. It's gathered in one place. Then it begins to push. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَتِ التَّرَاقِي. It reaches at-taraqi, which is here, at-turquwa, right here. The collarbone, right here. This is here. When it reaches here, this is where the pain is. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, but the soul, it begins, it reaches here. وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبِ الْحَنَاجِرِ. When it comes out, as it rises. Up here in this moment is where the painful part is. And then when it comes out, either وَالنَّازِعَاتِ غَرْقًا or وَالنَّاشِطَاتِ نَشْطًا. Either it's ripped out, or either it comes out effortlessly, smoothly. This is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with the believer. And then after that, people think that suicide, death, I will die, and khalas, it'll end by miseries and worries. عندك القبر. And what happens in the grave? Now, the serious difficulties begin now. وضمة القبر. The grave, in where it restricts and it squeezes itself on the person that's inside. Whether a believer or an unbeliever, everyone will experience it. To learn that there are difficulties in the grave as well. وعذاب القبر. And then after this, والملكان, the two questioning of the angels that come and question you. من ربك وما دينك ومن نبيك. The questions, it's not going to be easy. The angels that come, they're not wearing a hat and a abaya and coming into you, Assalamu alaikum, and من ربك. Allahu alam how they look like. Allahu alam how they look like. They come and they ask questions and they move on. And then after this, coming out from the grave, man, difficulty. People are drowning in the sweat of their sins. And then al-mizan, wal-hisab, wal-ardu ala Allah, wal-sirat, until you enter the paradise. All of this is going to be difficult in this life, in the grave, on the hereafter, on the plains. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Even the first point is to realize and recognize tests are coming. Difficulties are always going to be there. There is no such thing as a closure to difficulties in life. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ, we will test you. وَالْإِبْتِلَاء, this نَبْلُوكُمْ, it comes in the present tense. Well, the present tense in Arabic implies something that repeats itself. It's continuous. Meaning الإبتلاء بالشر والخير is going to be continuous. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ. Al-khawf, people are in fear. People are fear. And Allah Azza wa Jal began with that. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ. Because for most people, that's their state right now. They fear. What is going to happen in the future? What's going to happen to myself? What's going to happen to my children? Am I going to live until I see my children grow or not? What's going to happen to my business in the future? What's going to happen in the economy, with the economy in the future? People, this is all their worries. And to flick through 15 or 10 minutes of news, open up a news page, flick through it, watch the people that watch the news, read the news. What happens? In 5 minutes you become depressed. In 5 minutes there's fear instilled inside of you. What's the news all about? It's all bad news. Who got murdered? Who got killed? وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. Who got stabbed? Someone died in Canada. They bring you the news, update you. This is all fear. This is all fear. You read something, someone died. How many people died from the flu? The number is rising. Watch out. Prices of the houses dropping. This is for other people in that kind of industry. There's a worry now. right? And so on. The fees just keeps on going. Hatta even the news reporter himself at the end, last 2-3 minutes, they will say, and to some good news. Now, Allah give you some good news in 1-2 minutes. And then come back tomorrow to have another depressed life, a life of worries and fees and so on. It was never like this in the past. People didn't know the news in the past. Wherever you lived, that was your news. That's it. No one would give you news from there and from this country and from that country and all of this. It instills worry and fear in the people. People change their entire lifestyle when they hear about something like this. People want to move away from one area to another when they hear about things like this, thinking that peace and tranquility and the life is going to be wherever. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يُدْرِكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. Wherever you are, death will come to you. It will come to you wherever you are. The difficulties are going to come, no matter where you are. فإذا we need to understand from the very beginning, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ. Allah is going to test us with some kind of fee. بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. Al-ju' is another difficulty. Al-ju' and you don't find anything to eat. When living in lifestyle becomes expensive, and you begin to deprive yourself from certain matters because it's going to cost you so much, and you might not live. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. Financial loss. Financially, there will be difficulty. وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ. Death will happen within the family. Someone will die, someone close to you will die. A father will die, a mother will die, a son will die, a brother, a sister, someone that's close. All of these are the difficulties of life that Allah Azza wa Jal tests a person with. For this is the idea, you need to understand that these are matters that are going to continuously happen. When Allah Azza wa Jal described Ibrahim alayhi salam in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى Ibrahim, even Ibrahim alayhi salam went through the test. For the idea is, we start with good news. There is good news. And I'm very optimistic and hopeful that the one who is going through tests and pains and difficulties and is able to acknowledge them and accept them in his life, there's good news. That Allah loves such a people and loves people like this. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said in the hadith, إِنَّ اللَّهَ إِذَا أَحَبَّ قَوْمًا ابْتَلَاهُمْ. If Allah Azza wa Jal was to love people, He tests them. فَمَنْ رَضِيَ فَلَهُ الرِّضَى. Whoever's pleased with Allah's test, Allah Azza wa Jal is pleased with him. وَمَنْ سَخَطَ فَعَلَيْهِ السُّخْطِ. And anyone who's displeased, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is displeased with him. Then he didn't understand the meaning of life. Life was supposed to be difficult. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He described the paradise, He said, وَاللَّهُ يَدْعُو إِلَى دَارِ السَّلَامِ. One of the names of the paradise is Dar as-Salam. As-Salam, what does as-Salam mean? After salat you say, Allahumma anta as-Salam wa minka as-Salam. As-Salam means the peaceful. The peaceful. When peace means when you're free from pains and worries. That's what peace is. Allah called the paradise Dar as-Salam because in there is salam. Until you get there is no salam. Before all of this, salam would be mixed with the difficulty, but entirely 100% closure and problems and finally salam and tranquility, there is no such thing. Wallahu yad'u ila daris salam. Lahum darus salam inda rabbihim. Salam, in the paradise, people are free from worries. People are free from pain. People are free from sickness. People are free from death. There is no death. There is no old age. There is no financial difficulty. There is no eating out of hunger. The people of the paradise eat purely from enjoyment. Otherwise, no one gets hungry in the paradise. There is no need to sleep. There is no need for anything. No need for worry. No need for anything. هذا دار السلام. Over there, it's a different life. Until you reach there, Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't promise any salam in this life. There's no salam. No salam at all. The only salam you'll find is in dhikrullah subhanahu wa ta'ala in moments. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned this as a reality in the Quran. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And we said that Allah subhanahu, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ إِذَا أَحَبَّ قَوْمًا ابْتَلَاهُمْ. So that's the first thing, how to deal with this issue. that you accept it, change your mindset and your attitude, understand that this is life, this is what life is all about. These tests, they could be for short periods, they could be for longer periods, they could be small, not a big issue in life, they could be massive and huge in life, they could come later, they could come now, Allahu A'lam. One is resolved, another opens, another can open as the first one hasn't been resolved. This is how it's going to happen. And this is a sign of Allah Azza wa Jalla's love on a person, so long as he radi, so long as he is pleased with what Allah Azza wa Jalla had given him. Now, once a person is pleased and accepts these difficulties and trials and tribulations in life, one of the gifts that Allah Azza wa Jalla bestows upon such people is that He allows them to deal with these problems in a professional manner. You're able to deal with this problem in a professional manner. Islam teaches us, how do you take a difficulty which is perceived as something negative and turn it into something positive? How do you do that? Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, Inna ma'al usri yusra. Inna ma'al usri yusra. With al-usr, which is difficulty, there's going to be yusr, which is ease. Not ease after the difficulty. With the difficulty there'll be ease. Inna ma'al usri yusra. And then it was repeated again. Inna ma'al usri yusra. Why was the ayah repeated? You know, when you have love for someone, and you repeat yourself so that you calm them down. Yani, for example, if someone is worried and you come and you pat his shoulder and you say to him, brother, don't worry, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. You repeat yourself. This repetition, when you repeat yourself, it's an implication of your love and compassion and gentleness to him. Wallah subhanahu wa ta'ala walillahi al-mathalu al-a'la. Allah Azza wa Jalla is al-Latif, wal-Rahman, wal-Rahim. He's the most gentle and the most compassionate. For when He wants to calm down the servant, this ayah was repeated. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Allah Azza wa Jalla is repeating it. And you're supposed to understand from this that it's calming the believer down. That it's alright. With the difficulty, Allah will inject it with a lot of ease. And He's going to inject it with a lot of ease. And He repeated this twice. Now, if you flick through the Quran from the beginning to the end, you look into the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you'll find that exactly was the case. But wait for the difficulty to arrive, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ease would be with you. Inma, having the fear of the difficulties to come in life, this is by yourself. There are people that fee. They fee the concept of fee. There's no problem in his life, but he just sits down and he's fearing. He's worried. What's going to happen? And such a person lives in misery. Then the difficulty hasn't happened yet. Wait, when it happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's tranquility upon you would descend. You'd learn you'd be able to deal with your problem. Now, why would you feel something that still hasn't happened yet? So you need to understand that you're living for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You live in the manner Allah Azza wa Jal wants you to be with. And you engage yourself and you busy yourself bi dhikrillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he says that the one who doesn't busy himself with dhikrillah and he just keeps to himself and he has moments in life where he's just silent, doesn't do anything, you know what this does? It brings waswasa to shaitan about. It brings waswasa to shaitan. Shaitan begins to give you waswas. What's going to happen later on? What will happen tomorrow? But when you keep your mind and your tongue occupied bi dhikrillah, there's actually no room in your mind to think of anything else. Waswasa to shaitan goes away. That's very true. It's very true. Sit to yourself and don't do anything. Watch where your mind goes. Watch where your mind is going to take you. To the most horrible of things. The only way you're going to protect your mind from these negativities is to keep it busy. And the best thing to keep it busy with is billahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. Billahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. So look at the Quran. You find the case, for example, in the ayah we read, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. The end of the ayat, the next ayat that come after it, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, إِنَّ الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ مِنْ شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ. The very famous ayah of وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. You all know this ayah. But then one, two ayat after it, إِنَّ الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ مِنْ شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ. What's الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ, which is seen in Al-Hajj? What's that have to do with وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ? Why is it right after it? Because the story of As-Safa wal-Marwa is a story of a woman that went through difficulty in life. Is a story of a woman that Allah Azza wa Jal tested. The ayah just before said وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ. Allah Azza wa Jal is going to give us an example of an ibtila that happened to one of Allah's creation. Hajar radiyallahu anha. Ibrahim alayhi salam leaves his family, his wife and his newborn Ismail alayhi salam in the desert, in the dead, barren desert. No water, no food, no people, nothing. He left them for Allah and he left. And he said to her, this is Allah's command to me. And she said, إِذَنْ لَن يُضَيَّعَنَ اللَّهِ. If that's what Allah commanded you, to leave us here in certain death. This is certain. Being left in desert is certain death. The only thing you're waiting for is how are you going to die? By hunger? Or dehydration? Or something else? Or a wild beast is going to come and eat you? You're just looking which way are you going to die? Innama, death is certain. In a place like this, death is certain. For she said, so long as Allah has commanded you to go and leave us here, لَن يُضَيَّعَنَ اللَّهِ. Allah Azza wa Jal would preserve us, would protect us. And then she went up to us when her baby was crying. Needs to eat, needs to drink. She went up to As-Safa. And then from As-Safa to Al-Marwa, As-Safa, Al-Marwa 7 times. As-Safa wal-Marwa is a place where Allah Azza wa Jal answers the call of the distressed. She looked to her side, Zam Zam had come out. Allah gave her Zam Zam. You see, in the difficulty, إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. You see, when the ibtila happened, Allah Azza wa Jal's yusr was there. Zam Zam came out. She began to drink. Zam Zam is what? Is a unique, special water. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, طَعَامُ طُعْمٍ وَشِفَاءٌ مِّن كُلِّ سُقْمٍ. طَعَامُ طُعْمٍ, يعني it's food. Zam Zam is food. You can live on Zam Zam. It has nutrients in it that would satisfy a person just like food would do. This is what Zam Zam is. For Zam Zam was their food and their drink. شوف لطف الله سبحانه وتعالى. When Allah Azza wa Jal decrees upon you a difficulty and a hardship and a tribulation, we said He injects it with yusr. إِنَّ رَبِّي لَطِيفٌ لِمَا يَشَاءُ. Allah Azza wa Jal's qadr is never separated from His gentleness. Allah's qadr is always joined and combined with His gentleness. Look at the example of Hajar radiyallahu anha. Uma'u Zam Zam coming out from nowhere, from unexpected. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He says, يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. You know the ayah? When Allah Azza wa Jal says, anyone who fears Allah, has belief in Allah, what does Allah Azza wa Jal do to him? يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. He'll make an exit, a way out for him. And He will provide for him from a way he did never ever assume. Did Hajar ever assume this? Who would have assumed Zam Zam would be the solution? And Zam Zam is still there today. So that when you and I pass by it, we remember that Allah Azza wa Jal's ease is always with us in times of difficulty. That's why Zam Zam is there. That's why As-Safa wal-Marwa is there. That's why we have been commanded that we do tawaf between As-Safa wal-Marwa, so that the first thing you remember is this, that inna ma'al usri yusran. That's what we're supposed to remember. Well, Hajj is once a lifetime upon everyone, so that when you go there, you recognize and you take this lesson, and it's supposed to live with you forever. It's supposed to live with you forever. That's the case of Hajar. You find the case of Yunus alayhi salam in the Quran. Yunus alayhi salam, he's in this ship. It ends up in the middle of the ocean. The ship becomes really heavy. The people on the ship realize that they're supposed to unload things from the ship if they're going to live and survive. So they throw all their belongings off the ship. Then they realize that some human beings have to come off as well. Otherwise it's about to sink. So Yunus alayhi salam volunteers to throw himself off because he came late, he came last on the ship. So they said, la, anta nabiyullah. You're the Prophet and Messenger of Allah. Stay here. we'll do a qur'a, a raffle. So they put names on a paper, into a cup or whatever it is, a raffle. And they take out first name, Yunus alayhi salam. Yeah, we can't do it, let's try it again. Once again, Yunus alayhi salam. A third time, Yunus alayhi salam. Eventually, Yunus alayhi salam is ready to go. He jumps off the boat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent a whale. Biqadarillah. Not a coincidence, it got there. This is Allah's gentleness. Biqadarillah, a whale came and opened its mouth. Allahu Akbar, the biggest creature on earth. It opened its mouth and it swallowed him. And it went down into the depth of the ocean. He's living the darkness of the ocean, the darkness of the night, and the darkness of the belly of the whale. فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ Allah Azza wa Jal called it ظُلُمَات. Now this, you can say that Yunus alayhi salam has reached rock bottom in his life. Literally, he's going all the way down now. This is a difficult experience. No one on earth was going through a difficulty like Yunus alayhi salam's difficulty. When he was in the belly of the whale, as it's going down, the first thing on his mind was La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. This was the first words on his mouth. All of a sudden, getting in the biggest problem in his life, he doesn't have the means to rescue himself. No one has the means to rescue him. Like even technology until today, if a whale swallowed you today, technology today won't even be able to locate where you are. Khalas, you're gone, finished. Like he resorted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Azza wa Jal saved him. You know, he didn't resort to worldly means. He didn't resort to worldly means. You see, imagine you're in the whale. Imagine you are in the whale. The people today, what's the first thing they resort to? To a worldly means, to a worldly solution. Call someone in your difficulty. Go to someone. Innama Yunus alayhi salam went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first with the dhikr of his. La ilaha illa ant. Yani as though Yunus alayhi salam is saying, I will not forget you in times of difficulty. This is what La ilaha illa ant means. When he says it, how does he say it? He says it with the intention of La ilaha illa ant, meaning in the most difficult time, I will not forget your dhikr. And that's the first thing on his tongue, La ilaha illa ant. And then he goes on to say, Subhanak. Perfection belongs to you. That's what Subhanak means. Perfection belongs to you. Yani, can you say that? In the most difficult time in life, to say Allah is perfect. Allah is not the reason for why I have fallen into the problem I'm falling in. This is the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Yunus alayhi salam ends his statement by saying, Inni kuntu min al-zalimin. I am the one that wronged myself. I am the wrongdoer. I am the sinner. I am the one that's imperfect. I am the one that deserves to be where I am in this difficulty and trial. Can you say that? And can you face your difficulties with this dhikr? La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin.